Hi, I'm Jim Gordon, and you're watching Market 1 Minute. Joining us today is Wayne Tisdale, President and CEO of Canadian Palladium Resources, Inc. I want to start with you. Let's talk about your history. Where and how did you get your start in the mining business?
Well, it's a cute long story, but we'll make it short.
Okay.
I started as a driller in northern Saskatchewan because I was a farm boy, and that's all they hired was farm boys. And then I ended up in Ashcroft, British Columbia, and they were doing Afton mines. And I worked at Lornex, and somebody said they're staking claims at Afton, and so I went out and staked 10 claims. Hadn't got a clue how to do it, but I took an instrument and run a line straight north and south and got pure. And as it turned out, there were 7 fractions across the ore body, and I sold it to a grand old promoter here in Vancouver and made like 300 grand. And I went, this is a game I should be in.
Kind of leads to my next question, which is what it is about the mining business that fuels your enthusiasm?
I think it's finding things that have never been discovered before, and there's great leverage in it if you do it correctly and you work hard at it, and it's very, very exciting. You get to travel the world as well.
You mentioned an early success story when you first started. Can you share some other success stories in your history?
Well, the last company I just did was 2.5 years ago. It was called US Cobalt. We found that the cobalt market was heating up because of the EV market. So I was fortunate enough to take on a team and found a property in Idaho. It was called the Iron Creek. We spent about $10 million drilling it, and I sold it to First Cobalt for $149 million for my shareholders.
Tell us what your winning formula is for these successful ventures.
Well, I think the biggest one is I asked a lot of questions about it, and I went to various geologists that I knew in the industry and asked them a simple question. Do you know where there is a gold mine where in your time that you didn't get to drill out? Or do you know of any palladium around that may be a mine? And that was my formula, because those people always had a great idea in the back of their mind. And that particular one was Nelson Baker, Rainy River. I asked him where the mine was. He told me, and today it's a mine with 800 people working, and I think it cost $2.4 billion to put it into production. So it's a big, big mine. I just asked the question.
Let's talk about Canadian Palladium. What makes you believe it's such a strong asset?
Well, first off, palladium is a very, very strong commodity at the moment. It's over like $2,200 an ounce. And I met a friend from a long time ago, and he said, I've got a palladium play for you. And I looked at it and I said, great. It had an inferred resource of 523,000 ounces. It was on strike length. We're only 90 kilometers west of Sudbury along the highway. And we have a unique piece because we will not be a big mine site or have a big footprint, because this will be an open quarry and we can crush and ship to Sudbury this material.
What are the next steps for Canadian Palladium?
We're doing it now. We're drilling out an expanded reserve on our property. We've finished 20 holes. We've had great success in all 20 of the holes, and we're continuing to drill it off. And we should be done here sometime this fall with a higher reserve. I hope we're 1.5 million ounces or better. We're finding the resource that we think is there.
Last question for you, Wayne. What will you sell this asset for, if you don't mind telling us?
Well, as much as possible.
Okay.
I don't really have a number in there, but it's market dependent. It'll be in situ. Sell it to somebody that wants to mine it. The unique thing about this, there is no footprint. It's basically a quarry, and it's a crushing operation. We'll crush it and ship it to Sudbury, and there's miners all over the place that would love to make that, and the profit for them is huge.
Thanks for joining us, Wayne.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Gordon. Thanks for watching this Market 1 Minute on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with other videos that we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click on this list to see other great videos from Market 1. And thank you again for watching.